the founder and executive director of Noggin Educational Foundation, and we were founded, really, I was inspired by David, who is a teacher, and we were founded really to kind of bridge the gap between kind of the haves and the have-nots in the area of education. And what we do is we provide free educational resources and services to kids from low-income families. And we'll tell a little bit more about how we got going with that, but I'll let David introduce himself.
Yeah, hi everybody. So I'm David Bailey. So I am a middle school teacher. I teach middle school. I teach advanced mathematics on the middle school level. So I teach algebra 1 and geometry, 7th and 8th grade students. This is like my dream, like teaching at this level here and finally teaching what I love to teach. But I also, my inspiration from this really came from, I had a really great education growing up. And when I got into the classroom, I saw some basic challenges. I saw 8th graders who couldn't do basic multiplication. And I was wondering, like, how could a kid get to 8th grade and not know how to multiply? My first school I was in had very little resources and funding. Then I left. I went to what I call teaching utopia, where I had all the resources I needed. The school I taught at was a top 10 school in the nation academically. And I just saw there was this huge disparity from where I was to where I went to. Then I come home telling my wife these stories about, babe, guess what happened today? Guess, can you imagine that I did this, that, and the other? And after a while, she's hearing all these stories and she's like, this ain't right. This is not right. The inequities in education. And so that was the genesis of our nonprofit. I had already started a tutoring company with my wife. And so that's still going, Noggin Educational Coaching as well. That's our for-profit, but we also have the nonprofit to serve students who could not afford the services that we offer through our for-profit. And we just want to level the playing field. There are a lot of inequities that have been in place for many, many years. And we believe, our space of fighting, bringing forth justice is through education. So when we level the playing field in education, it opens up doors, that can end generational poverty. There are many things that can happen when you change the life of a child. So I'm back in a school that has some challenges. We're at the many kids come from low income backgrounds. However, my goal here I chose to come back. I'm in the same network of schools where I was before, but I'm back in the network now. But I'm at the lowest performing school by choice. And when I'm done with these kids, we're gonna be coming after the top schools. And my goal is for them to say, what's going on at this school that these kids who many people have dismissed, and they're going to be top performers. Because I want them to have the same choices and opportunities to go to college like anybody else. And my goal is for them to say,
that is
what's going on at this
Asia's watching the white people doing something interview. Must be riveting.
Live and we can see the comments.
It's here.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're here.
I just wanted to see the comments. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. No, we love that, and we love what you all are up to. And so, in terms of I think that story is it's just so true, right? It's this is an example of what happens when you see something that's wrong and then you do something about it. So everybody out there who's hey, I don't know what to do, here's an example of something that you could do, right? And taking action and moving forward. And I think that's just such a powerful paradigm to live in, and this is and live into, because I think a lot of times what happens is people see a problem,
and we go, they need to do something about it.
Yeah, someone else needs to do something about it.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad. They need to fix it.
And you all did not do that. So through this journey, what would you say is the biggest thing that you've learned, or the biggest aha that you've had?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think I fight myself a lot. Sometimes I am my biggest obstacle in saying no for people it took me a long time to be okay with asking people for money, which is ridiculous because that's like my main job. But I had to get to the point where I had to get out of my own way and realize I wasn't asking people to put money in my bank account, my personal Bailey bank account. I was asking people to do something I really believe strongly in, and that would make a huge difference. Like, one of the things we offer is one-on-one private tutoring. So many middle-class families would love to get free tutoring. And we do this with a teacher. So it's not just, Joe Blow guy that works for IBM that understands math. Not that there's anything wrong with Joe Blow guy. But these are teachers, and we use teachers because we know that they are trained to bridge the gaps that so many kids have. And especially now during COVID, and virtual learning, there's been a lot of gaps, and they just need to be filled. So that was a really long answer to, I had to kind of get out of my own way.
It's a great answer though, right? And it's the same thing that keeps some people from even getting started. And it is one of those shifts that you make as a nonprofit founder. It's like, wait a minute, I'm not asking you to give me money. I'm inviting you to be part of a movement. Like, this is really a movement you're creating. And, as Noggin Foundation expands and grows and more kids have access to tutoring, and there's going to be this really cool moment where kids who were tutored by you become teachers and become part of the program. And that's kind of that full circle movement. And so to be able to be a part of that, total shift in paradigm, like, that's really an opportunity that you're extending to people, and it's just a different way of thinking about it. But I just get really excited about being a part of, just giving to that future, giving to that possibility that you all have created. So I think that's what I get excited about. So yeah,
for me, it's many kids don't have hope.
Yeah.
My first year teaching at this campus, I remind you, I'm teaching advanced mathematics at a middle school level. So, like, if you're in 8th grade taking geometry, that's not typically taken until 10th grade for the average mathematics student. Taking in 8th grade here. There was a girl who I was working with, and we had to get them ready for the state exams. Because they're so advanced, they still have to take their own grade level tests. But I hadn't taught that content, but I knew they could get it caught up very quickly. And this one girl kept saying, well, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to do it. I said, yes, you can. I said, I got you. I'll get you ready for this test. She said, I can't do it. And I said, why do you think you can't do it? And this is what broke my heart. She said, because I'm dumb and black. The irony of it is, she's an 8th grader in geometry saying, I'm dumb and black. Her recording in her mind is, I'm black, so therefore I'm dumb. I said, baby, who told you that lie? And she said that she told herself the lie, but I believe there might be some other people that have told her things to make her doubt herself, to make her feel less than. So what I see is, what I'm doing every single day in the classroom with these kids is I'm a hope dealer. I want to give hope to these kids. I want them to know that they have dignity, value, and worth, and that they have a purpose and a call in their lives, and that this is a season of preparation. And we're going to have to undo some things, and maybe take away some bad habits that have maybe gotten in the way. Sure. But every single day, the kids that I see, I have kids who, one girl I just heard her talking the other day, just said, no, my dad's in jail. Like, we don't even know what these kids are going, but when they're in my care, when they're under my covering, that I'm going to give them hope, because I don't know who I'm teaching.
Yes.
I don't know who I'm teaching in the classroom here. Yep. And I want them to know there's somebody who loves them, and that they care, that I care. I'm going to bring out the best of them, even if it might be painful at times, but I want them to show their potential. So if they want to go to Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Howard, wherever they want to go, that they have options. But it's helping to change the mind. It's all mindset shift that I'm seeing every day in the classroom that I'm working through.
And, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we have a program called Career Chat. And we've also added this to our summer math and reading program. And what we do, and now everything is virtual, so we can access professionals from all over the world. But what we do is we bring professionals in to speak to groups of kids, and they just talk about their background, where they went to school. They maybe sometimes show pictures of themselves as kids so the kids can relate. But we worked with all Latino students this summer. So I reached out to Hispanic chambers of commerce all over and asked them to provide us with Latino professionals so that they could see people that looked like them. We do the same thing when we work with African-American kids, is we try to let them see people who are doing amazing things, because sometimes they don't know anybody that's had more than just a 9-to-5 clock-in job. They don't know anybody that's had a career. So we try to bring professionals to them that they can relate to, and that so they can see themselves in a future position doing something that's amazing.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, and it's like, that's so important, because that was something that I was lucky enough to, like, my parents were aware of that, and so they made sure that, like, I saw Black doctors and dentists and lawyers and, like, professionals, so that we could know that that was a possibility, right? Because, like, really growing up, like, if you're in your bubble and you see, like, oh, this is it. And then, you know, us growing up, we had like the Cosbys and Fresh Prince, right? And or like basketball players and rock and like artists, you know? So it's like, okay, and this is what you see with kids, right? It's like, oh, we can be like one of 4 things. And it's like, okay, but there's so much more. Yeah. And you just have to see it. So I mean, I love that. I love that.
And we had some people from white people doing something as career chat presenters. We had somebody that works for NASA, and so we've even gotten more support in other ways from this group. Yeah, I know.
Oh, I'm so glad. That's really the vision and the possibility of this group, right? It's like it's 44,000 plus people. In the way that you don't know who you're teaching, we don't know who we're talking to right now. I mean, you know, we have no idea. We have no idea who's listening. So, yeah, those of you for whom this is resonating and you feel like, oh my gosh, how do I get more involved? We did invite them here to talk today, specifically because this is the North Texas, is it called Day of Giving Week?
North Texas Giving Day.
Giving Day. Okay, that's it. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So North Texas Giving Day is put on by the Communities Foundation of Texas. They're a large group that really just works for philanthropy in the North Texas area. But they wanted to give an opportunity for people to support their favorite nonprofits or nonprofits that they hadn't heard of. So I think that it's over 10 years old now, and it started small, but now it's really, really huge. They raise millions of dollars, and it's really, they call it an 18-hour online giving event. But it starts September 1st. They let you do what they call early giving from September 1st through the day of North Texas Giving Day, which is September 23rd. And you have till 11:59 p.m. on September 23rd to give. And you turn on your TV or your radio on September 23rd here in North Texas, and you're going to be hearing about that. It's kind of all over. It's a big party. It's a lot of fun. And we use this fundraiser every year to fund our free tutoring programs and our free ARD advocacy program. So I'll briefly say what an ARD is. An ARD is a meeting that you have at school. Parents come, your parents come, the administrators of the school, and your children's teachers. And the goal of this is to see if you qualify for special education or any kind of accommodations at school for a learning disability or for some sort of disability that's impacting your education. Okay, David and I have children who have issues that do impact their education. We've got one with autism, we've got one with anxiety and depression, and we had to advocate for our kids in these meetings so that they could get the services and accommodations that they needed. And he and I are in education. And so we felt like we should kind of be able to do this pretty easily, but it was super, super hard to do this, to get them what they needed, to get them diagnosed, to get the school to do whatever we needed done. And so that really started us thinking about how the demographic that we serve is dealing with this. Because you go into that room and it's a bunch of people staring at you and speaking in another language almost. And there are times when I don't understand what's going on. I'm like, talk to me like I'm 2-year-old. And so with our art advocacy program, we connect them with a professional who knows what they're doing, who looks over all their diagnostic paperwork, anything that they've already got going in the school, if they already are getting services, and they work with them to come up with a plan for what would work well for your child. And then they attend that ARD meeting and help that parent advocate for them. So it's really an amazing program that's really, really close to my heart. So we use this fundraiser to fund our free tutoring and special education advocacy programs.
Oh, that's amazing. And that is actually what I got really excited last year when we made a donation. I was really excited about it because I've been at the table in those meetings. And, you know, the funny thing about the IEP meeting is that neither side of the table is a great place to be on. Yeah. It's just kind of the nature of the process and the paperwork. And, you know, what really makes a difference is having parents there with an advocate who really know what they're looking at. They get the big picture. You know, you sort of sit there almost with blinders on because you're so focused on your one kid, but you're not really getting the whole picture of all that's available to you. And it makes a massive difference for kids to have access to the accommodation that they need to be students at all. So that's exciting.
The demographic of students is often already 2 to 4 grade levels behind. So you add on top of that undiagnosed dyslexia or autism or anything like that, it almost is an insurmountable challenge. So these kids more than any really, really need to have stuff put in place so that they can be helped at school.
I also want to add that sometimes many students of color are overlooked for gifted and talented programs, which is under the special education category. Our son, who was in the autism spectrum, he took our local district's gifted and talented assessment, and they said that he did not qualify. We're like, no, we saw something there. And so what we decided to do was we decided to keep on going and to have him tested again multiple times. And when we did that, what we saw was that he took a second assessment, he took a third assessment, he took a fourth assessment. And then on the fourth assessment, we saw that, did you guys hear everything I just said?
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
we didn't see you, but we heard you.
Yes, okay. But on that fourth assessment, he was in the 96th percentile of gifted and talented. But if we wouldn't have advocated for him, he would have been overlooked. So many kids, so disproportionately, many kids of color, especially kids from poverty, are overlooked because sometimes there's bias in the testing. So so not only with the services that she mentioned, that I believe there are many, I'm seeing here in my own school, there are many kids that are overlooked and that are bright kids, but they're overlooked or dismissed because sometimes the way the evaluations go aren't necessarily equitable. And so the art advocacy can also help in that way as well.
And unfortunately, kids that are GT that are overlooked, sometimes that can turn into behavior issues because they're just bored.
Yeah, they're bored. Yeah.
And that just starts a whole thing.
Now to attract one way.
Yeah. Suspensions. Because like I said, my very high kids, when they get it, and if you don't keep them on their toes, they're gonna cut up because they're like, well, I'm done. I know it. So I'm gonna go hang out. Right. And so there's so much at stake here. And so having someone to come in and be a voice for those who may not know, and even I said, I'm in the classroom and it was still, a challenge at times as well. And so we want to make sure that these families are getting the support that they need.
Oh, it's amazing. I just love what you all are up to. And like I said, I get excited for when the kids you tutored come back and they become part of the program. And I don't know that you have plans to expand nationally, but I think if you don't and people are listening and you feel like your community needs something like this, every community needs something like this.
Yeah.
And, another thing I was thinking about when you were talking about oftentimes this demographic, we know there's all kinds of research saying is diagnosed often later in life than other kids with special needs, and tends to not access services. And there's all kinds of reasons for that. And part of the reason is the stigma. So you all being open with your kids and your kids' challenges in and of itself makes an impact for people. To have parents who feel comfortable and feel brave saying like, yeah, hey, my kid too, so it's really
100%, Molly. And what I've seen with the parents that we've tutored, when we try to build relationships with these parents so that we are kind of a liaison between the school and the parent sometimes, and just also a safe place to go to ask questions. So one of the things that we've seen is that some of these parents haven't even told their child that they have some sort of learning disability because they feel like, and I've been told by parents, they're going to think they're dumb. So I haven't told them this. So they either don't seek diagnosis, or they have diagnosis, but don't, they just don't stay on top of these things. And so one of the things we do is we just really try to counsel with our parents and just show them, hey, this does not mean your child is dumb. This means that they think differently. Right?
Yeah.
We process differently. And we've got to make sure that we put stuff in place so that they can overcome those challenges. So it's a little bit of an uphill battle with some of the parents, but we've seen the relationship building makes a lot of difference.
I'm sorry to cut in here. I have to go. Lunch break is over and they're coming on back. So,
I know, you better be ready.
Yes, but thank you for having me on. And we're just so grateful for our relationship we have with you guys and over the years now. And we're looking forward to more things. And we I know we love you guys to death. And thank you for supporting us for all this time. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Let me go get these kids.
Okay.
Yeah, go get those kids.
Thanks.
All right, see you guys later.
Take
Bye.
care. Yeah.
I love he's on his lunch break.
I know.
So, all right, let me see.
Well, we won't keep forever, but what I really love is like the I just lost the word. I guess the structure or model. There we go. Model. The model that you all have built, because it's addressing a very specific need. And, we were just talking about this the other day about how like education, since like school has been implemented in this country for 100 or so years, has like looked kind of one way, right? And so it doesn't even take into account the anything really, right? And it's like school itself was like
aberration. Yes.
It
doesn't take into account any aberration.
No. And then it brings up questions of like, what is considered normal, right? What's considered like the right way to learn, and like how you have to learn, and like what like even like these tests that kids have to go through. It's like, what are you really testing for, right? And like who are you testing for? Like it goes back to this question, this idea of what we consider to be true and normal, and what that looks like, right? And there's a face of what that looks like, and that face is, like straight white people.
Right.
Right? And so what you guys are doing is addressing that, like, oh, it's not like, this is not how everybody looks, how everybody learns. It's not really built also, for everybody.
No. And not obviously, but my dad is a straight white male. I guess not obviously, but he is. And hated school. School was not a fit for him. Well, that says nothing about his adulthood. That says nothing about his potential. That just means he had like 12 years of misery until he got to be a grown up, you know? And so it's like, you can meet kids where they are, and it makes such a difference in the world. And I think that's what you're meeting, the kids where they are, and you're meeting the parents where they are. And, you know, I never fault a parent in any way. First of all, for anything, I have a lot of admiration for parents in general. But I get why parents seek a diagnosis later. I get why parents kind of tap out of the IEP process. It's a daunting process. And if they don't have the support of someone like you, then yeah, I mean, no, they don't want to be a part of that, you know? And so I think it really makes a difference. And I just think about the ripple effect of what you all are doing. When you have a bunch of parents who know how to advocate for their kids showing up, that will shift the entire special ed offerings. It just will. Yes. Suddenly you can't just check off a box like, yep, OT twice a week. Like, oh, these parents know what they want. Oh, we're going to have to fund this or something.
Right, because we are living in community more than we used to. And so I share all the time, and you know, I'm in education, this is what I do, but I love resourcing people. And so I'm always telling people, well, did you know you could do this? And here's an accommodation that you haven't thought of. But I know other moms and dads do the same thing, and they share. And that's the beauty of this program, is because unfortunately schools don't come to the table with all the stuff.
No, not at all.
In my own experience in an ARD, I had to come to the table with a lot of stuff, but I was able to do it because I have so many friends who are in special education. I have a friend who's a behavioral therapist, and they give me like a long list. And I'm like, okay, number one. So you are very right. If we share with one another, and there's whole Facebook groups of parents of kids that have this, and parents of kids who have this, and so we're able to share with one another. I do want to mention something. You said, you know, if we ever go national, we're virtual. We're still not meeting in person here in Texas. So we are national. We're international.
I love it.
We have tutored kids that are all over the nation, and our programs can be accessed via Zoom just as easily in Idaho as they are here in Texas. So
awesome. And that is like, I guess it is like a blessing / you know, at least one good thing that's come out of this. Silver lining of the pandemic, right? It's like, oh, you had to go virtual, and so now actually
now we're international.
People can access what you're up to all over the world. And so I think that is
it's great
and so amazing.
Great. So we are, those of you who are watching, thank you for being here. We are going to be, I think Suze has already put the link directly to the NorthTexasGivingDay.org/Noggin Foundation. So that link is there for you. I'm really interested in how much money we raised last year, because I like the idea of beating it.
I'll find it.
And this is running until the end of September, right? But we're kind of doing a big push right now.
September 23rd.
Yes, right, September 23rd. And you don't need to wait until September 23rd to make a difference.
Right.
So I would say starting now at 1:13 p.m., we are going to, the white people doing something, get in there, give your donations. Asia doesn't know this part yet, but Asia and I are going to match the next $500 of donations that come from white people doing something. So, yay!
Did you handle the finances?
She's like, listen, it's such a no-brainer. I mean, when we learned about the Noggin Foundation, we knew we wanted to be a part of what you all are up to, and it really is just such a no-brainer for us to leverage and support and have this really happen and make a difference for everybody. As I said, I was super excited to give last year and be part of making the ARD project a reality, and it's so great to hear that it's running. So that's always exciting. I'm someone who has run a nonprofit for 18 years, so I got it. I get it. It's
Really, I think you were the first person to donate to that program.
I was excited to see it get started. So yay.
You started the program for us.
Great. I'm super excited about that program. That's amazing. Well, that's great. So we'll make sure that we make a little post and we get those $500 in quickly so that we get to match the 500. And then
lots more. Like,
and lots more.
So,
lots
like,
more. And if anyone else wants to do a match, reach out to us. We'll make that happen.
Let us know. And so, like,
it's a fun way to leverage your
the
donation.
group is called White People Doing Something. So here's an opportunity to do something.
Go
like,
do
that's
something.
really tangible, right? Like,
Yeah.
we show up live every day with an action that you can take in terms of like education and
Listen and
reading
read
and all that
yeah.
kind of stuff. And like, this is something to do, right? To
Yeah.
actually physically do. So
Yeah.
tell your friends and tell your, everybody, tell your neighbors
Yeah.
and support this, because
Share this link on your page. It really makes
Yeah.
a huge difference. So,
Yes.
again, we're just,
It's a big deal.
it's amazing. What you all are up to is amazing. And how many years have you been doing this?
We're going to be 6 October 15th.
So that is a
Wow.
milestone. Those of you who are not in the nonprofit organization space, that is a huge milestone. A lot of organizations, and I just have to say a lot because I don't have the most recent numbers off the top of my head, but a lot of organizations do not survive past 5 years. And it takes a whole lot of heart and a whole lot of soul and a whole lot of blood and a whole lot of sweat and a whole lot of tears to keep doing it. So congratulations on 6 years. That's really exciting. You also have some pandemic years, so like we can call it 20.
I was going to say last year was at least 2 years.
Yeah,
I
at
mean,
least.
I hear
Two
you.
for one,
Yeah,
three for one.
Yeah, 3 for 1. So yeah, that's really exciting. And we will, yep, so good. Suze yep, we know we're matching the next $500 of donations. And as I said, if you want to, if you want to be someone who positions your gift as a match, that sometimes inspires other people to give because they know that their 25 turns into 50 automatically, and that's really fun. So we know people give money for a lot of reasons. And the 3 main reasons are, I say this like 6 times a day.
Deadline.
There's a deadline. There's success and momentum, and because we ask. So we are asking. We are all asking and inviting you to be a part of this, to be a part of what's possible. So, and again, a massive thank you to everybody who was part of this a year ago. We have more people in the group now. Some of you are meeting Doneda for the first time. But yeah, just a huge, massive thank you. There's no better feeling than knowing that your gift really made a difference, and in this case, sustained this organization through the 3 years of the pandemic we've had so far.
And I do want to say, our goal is to raise $20,000. Each program costs $500 per kid. So $500 for a semester of tutoring, and then $500 for 12 hours of art advocacy. And we take about 90-something% of this and put it straight into those accounts for this. So most of this money is going to go straight towards a kid. So give, and thank you very much. Give.
Exactly. Oh, that's amazing.
Well, beautiful.
Great. Well, for the next 24 hours, you're going to see our group sort of being, I won't use the word spammed, but excited with posts of fundraising and how it's going. And I also just wanted to ask you, where are you at so far towards that $20,000 goal?
Not very far.
Okay.
So we are not, I think people get excited as the day grows closer. You can start giving anytime in September, but I think some people kind of have that date in their head. So on the platform of North Texas Giving Day, I think we're at $1,000.
And then we're at 1,000.
Some people have given offline gifts, like you can give by Cash App and Venmo.
Y'all just go to the platform, give on the platform.
Yeah.
Don't confuse yourself.
And if you give on the platform, it qualifies us for bonus prizes from the community.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
So it's important to do that. So we probably have about $2,000 towards our 20, so 10%.
Okay, great. And then when we match 500, we'll add another 1,000, and then let's just see where we go. So yeah, we'll get that number. We'll see. I feel like last year it was in the thousands.
For sure.
That's what I think. I think it was closer to like 10 that this group gave. I don't remember for sure, but
I don't know, but if you include the people who started giving monthly, I mean, it was a lot. So I'll
love
give
it.
that number to you, so so that people can have a goal to exceed.
Yeah, it's a good goal. It's an exciting goal. So this is super exciting. We're really excited to be a part of this again this year. And yeah, it's an amazing opportunity. So you can let us know in the chat if you've already given, so that we know how close we're getting to that first 500. And then we will go ahead and post throughout the day and let you know where we're all at. So it's a good day to give. It's a good day to make a difference. And Doneda, just a huge thank you for everything that you're doing and who you are in this world. It's really inspiring and exciting.
And I want to say the same thing to you guys. I never want to leave you guys without pumping you guys up. You're amazing. And what is it called? Exponential
Human Project.
Human Project. I looked at that and I was like, oh my gosh, women are amazing. I shared it with people. I was having a conversation with a white friend and I was like, you need to be a part of this. Oh my God. You guys are doing such amazing work, and you don't have to do it. You're just doing it because you saw a need, and thank God for that. And look what the Lord has done. 44,000 people. It's crazy how many people you guys are impacting. Like, I can't wait to see what this group has done years down the line, where you're going to find people saying, I was in the KKK and I know. White people doing something. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. And to be very clear, Exponential Human Project is not only for white people. That's Asia's personal campaign. She's like, where are you at? Come join us.
Yeah.
So this is great. Oh, thank you, Mary. Mary's made a gift. Suze has made a gift. Oh, amazing. Okay,
guys.
That's the momentum.
All right, let's do it. I feel like powers activate.
I know.
It's time.
Listen, this one is a lot, and we all love it. Well, this is great. Doneda, don't go anywhere. We're gonna turn off the live real quick, and
that's it. Thanks, everybody. Go to the link, contribute, share with your friends.
Yes, exactly. Thank you all for sharing and donating.